Hello everybody, my name's Novi and welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute since I've done one of these pay-per-view preview and prediction videos, the last one being WrestleDream in 2023. Good God. The channel has changed a whole lot since then, so I decided to give the concept another go just to see how it goes. I'm going to use this as a place to talk about my feelings on the build to these matches, as well as giving my predictions, of course, and maybe even predicting the future beyond just these matches. So if you enjoy that kind of thing, leave a like on this video to let me know. And if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe to the channel where we're always talking graps. First match I want to get into is Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet, mostly because it has a stretcher stipulation on it. That is such an insane thing to just drop, but I absolutely love it. Mark Briscoe is one of the best stip match wrestlers going today, and I have no doubt that this incredibly inspired heel Ricochet can bring the absolute best out of him, as he has before, and the stip itself for that matter. I can only imagine what kind of things Ricochet may cook up, considering he did just steal a man's leg multiple times over, which is actually why this match is taking place. Mark Briscoe wanted to defend a man who was getting his leg stolen because he's a known good guy. That makes sense to me. But also, this could very well have some TNT Championship implications as well, which would be great for me considering I just made a video saying Ricochet should be the next TNT champion. If you haven't seen that video, make sure to check it out at the top right there. And it's with that in mind that I'm picking Ricochet to win this match, which will make me very sad as a big fan of Mark Briscoe, but regardless of result, this match could very easily steal the show, and I'm very intrigued to see who bleeds more. Next up, we have one of two tag matches on this show, FTR taking on Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia. This is one of, if not the best built match on this entire show. This angle is clearly inspired by wrestling of old, with FTR healing it up on the commentary team, something a whole lot more common back then. Focusing mainly on Tony Schiavone for a minute, a cardinal sin in AEW, before moving over to Nigel. Difference between those two is that Nigel McGuinness can kick some ass, and I have no doubt that he will here. He's looked great in the pair of singles matches he's had in AEW. He looked great in the Angle a couple weeks back, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in there once again. This time being joined by his protege, I hope, because I really like this idea, Daniel Garcia. Danny has needed a shakeup, or more, some character definition for a minute now, and I think Nigel can provide that with ease. So I'm looking forward to seeing how those two gel, and what better opponents to use as a barometer than FTR, who since turning heel a little while back, have been in the form of their lives. They are like Danny in some ways, where they needed a shakeup. Their babyface act was becoming so stale. Now they look so inspired between the ropes, doing all the little things they were known to do when they were heels before, once again, and it's working just as it did then to perfection. And it's for that reason that I think they win, continuing to cement themselves en route to All In, where I'm not ruling out the possibility of them taking on the current AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Hurt Syndicate, who will also be on this show defending those titles against the Sons of Texas in what should be a fun match. Sammy has a baseline level of good in-ring work, and Dustin has proven to still be fantastic on the mic and great in the ring, even well into his 50s. They'll both be getting beat to hell though, I'm afraid. I'm not even going to entertain any other option for even a second. I do wonder how spirited the debate will be backstage between these fellas, as who will be taking that Dustin Rhodes Code Red. Next up, let's get into some women's action on this show, with Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa for the AEW Women's World Championship. I'm very sorry to report that I don't have much good to say on the way this has been built. Mostly because this hasn't really been built at all. It even seems kind of thrown together, and I'm really disappointed by that. With their history and with a little more pomp and circumstance, this could be a big moment for Mina as she heads into her AEW full-time run. Instead, it feels like Challenger of the Month stuff and like something that won't leave an impact on the audience when it comes to Mina's standing among them. People naturally like her. She's incredibly charismatic and she deserved more than what she's been given here. However, if this is a great match, some of those problems can go away. Not all of them, but some of them can go away. And I'm happy to report I do have faith this can be good, as Toni seems to be in the prime of her life in the ring over the last few months. Then on the other side you have Mina, who despite struggles early in her career long ago, has been so consistent for so long now, even delivering a great performance in that Resurgence 3-way with Mercedes Moné and Azumi. So I hope this match is killer and it makes up for the lack of focus this should have gotten, because I think it would do both women a world of good. For a winner, though, since I didn't necessarily give that, it's very obviously going to be Toni Storm. Well, folks, I thought it was bold to record before Dynamite, and it seems that's proving true considering there are a couple of these post-Dynamite recordings within this video. This one is going to be about Speedball Mike Bailey taking on Kazuchika Okada. This should be a fun match. I'm not expecting it to be anything crazy, but it is Okada on pay-per-view, and he usually steps it up, and Speedball has been tremendous as of late, so I'm looking forward to it. I don't think it's incredibly meaningful or anything, but it doesn't have to be that. It could just be a fun 13-minute match in the middle of the show. It's going to be fun. I'm excited for it. That's pretty much the thoughts you were going to get, whether it was recorded here or before. So I think it's fair. I think it's fair. All right, well, back to the video. I'm going to leave both the Owen Hart Tournament Finals for the end of this video, but I do think that Anarchy in the Arena will main event this show once again. Now, while I understand people who are excited for it, in a way I am too, I have my issues. For one, I hate that this stipulation, as well as Blood and Guts, have turned into yearly traditions. It makes them feel forced more often than not, even if the way they get to the match in actuality makes sense, as it does this year. I don't think AEW should have to book TV a certain way to get to this. It hurts the novelty and the stature of a bout that's supposed to feel so final. Plus, I do wonder how much farther they can go to create signature moments. I mean, last year, people were set on fire and it took a steel chair headshot to end the match. Maybe I am just an outlier though. I understand being excited like I said, and I don't just want to sit here and shit all over the match because that's no fun. With the people involved, I have no doubt it'll be good and likely extremely entertaining. We know that the Bucks and Kenny at the least are some of the most creative minds when it comes to this kind of matchup, and I think given the blade job we saw in the cage match on Dynamite, Mox can start to really form a hot streak when it comes to his matches. Mostly because he bled there, I think he'll bleed here, and that's the kind of match his character should have been having the whole time. I also love the idea of Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs putting a beating on Gabe Kidd. Best of all too, I think at some point we're going to see Willow Nightingale pounce, powerbomb, or do some other sick move on Jon Moxley as revenge for what he did, and I'll start punching the air. As for the finish of all of this, though, I think the Death Riders are taking it. It wouldn't make me very happy, and I could very easily see it going the other way, but this group is supposed to be made for a match like this. In a lot of ways, it wouldn't make canon sense for them to lose, so I'm just gonna go with them and call it a day. Next, the first of our two Owen Hart Tournament Finals, the women's final, Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter. This is a match I feel and have felt so strongly about when it comes to the result for a long time now. I simply do not think Mercedes Moné should win, and I don't think her and Toni Storm should go one-on-one at all in. The way I see it, while those two are the two biggest stars in the division, and it's easily the biggest women's match AEW could book, putting them on a show like All In would more than likely mean they'd be getting slotted in somewhere in the middle of the card, rather than the main event, which I believe the match could be if it was on another show. I fully believe that this would be AEW chasing a moment as well, because having Tony and Mercedes defend their respective championships in separate singles matches would be incredibly more productive for the division as a whole, and losing out on that here feels like a major mistake. It feels like it would be a missed opportunity to not make a couple new women's stars or cement already established stars like Chris Statlander, for example. Or a more topical option, Jamie Hayter, who I would have win this match if I had the pen. There is a story to tell of her road back to that world championship, whether she's a face or a heel, it doesn't matter. People care about Jamie and what she's doing. They have for years now. I don't think it'd be crazy to give her another shove back upwards. And if that's not something you're so totally thrilled by, at least it's more interesting than champion versus champion. I want to make a full video on this if it happens, so I won't go into crazy detail when it comes to my thoughts on this, especially considering I think it will happen. I feel like they've just been too heavy-handed when it comes to these Mercedes and Tony teases for it not to be true. So, if Mercedes Moné wins this match, which I think she will, you'll know what video you're seeing next week. For some of you, that being the Owen Hart Tournament final that I would make a video on depending on its result, might be a shock, considering my immense support for Hangman Page on this channel, who will be taking on Will Ospreay in the men's Owen Hart Tournament final, also on this show. But look guys, I've walked down this road before. I've committed to the idea that Hangman has to win this given match time and time again. And I'm here to tell you, don't do that to yourself here. Don't let what you think has to happen spoil what will likely be an incredible match. One I've had my eye on ever since Ospreay joined AEW, and even before then, for that matter. These are a couple of the best in AEW, best in the world, and I think their styles mesh so well. The way that Hangman controls a match, meeting that can't teach underdog babyface energy Ospreay exudes at all times, will be magical. I think that this for sure should main event this show. I do think Anarchy will get it. I mentioned it earlier. I still believe that. But this is just such a huge match. This to me is one of the biggest things AEW could have booked just at any point. And considering this has a match for the world title at All In on the line, it's just more important than Anarchy. It just is. Looping back around though, I do think Hangman is going to lose and that Ospreay is going to be the one to challenge Mox in Texas. I would put up more of a fight about this. You all know that I would, because it's Hanger. If I thought Mox was losing in Texas, and I don't think he is. I think Will Ospreay is getting choked out with that bulldog in the semi-main of the show, just so you don't send the people home angry. Yes, it fucking sucks. I really hate it, but I think I've come to terms with it. Guys, I thought I had, then Dynamite happened. I had to come back and record something else because it does matter. When two top babyfaces care like that about getting the top prize, it matters. This is the biggest first-time match AEW have put together in a minute. The winner has to be the one to do it in Texas. And I feel like, in some ways, this little overview of the match kind of undersold how big it was. This is fucking massive. And the fact that it actually got the main event, I know I said earlier that it probably won't. This is recorded before Dynamite, most of this video. This is not, considering you can't see my face, but it matters. That's important. That's a big fucking deal, and I'm really happy about it. This match is fucking huge, and it means the most. The winner of this should beat Jon Moxley at All In. We'll get to that later. I'm sure there'll be another video soon enough. All right, let's take it home. But that's going to do it for my Double or Nothing 2025 predictions. I think this show is going to be fantastic, and I can't wait to watch it over on the Late Night Grin with you all on Sunday. I hope you all enjoyed this format's return. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video. Also, comment your thoughts on my predictions or your own predictions for this show as well. Then, of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel where we're always talking grabs. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. EST for the Dynamite pre-show, the fallout from Double or Nothing. I'll see you on Saturday for a brand new video. Maybe it's Mercedes and Tony. We'll see. Either way, regardless, much love to each and every one of you. Be well, stay safe, and have a good one. Enjoy Double or Nothing. Peace.